LeBron wants to compete for a championship. He knows the Lakers are building for the future. He understands that, but he values a realistic chance of winning it all. We are very appreciative of the partnership that we've had for 8 years with Jeanie and Rob and consider the Lakers as a critical part of his career. We understand the difficulty in winning now while preparing for the future. We do want to evaluate what's best for LeBron at this stage in his life and career. He wants to make every season he has left count, and the Lakers understand that, are supportive, and want what's best for him. So, Kendrick Perkins joining us now here for our second hour. But, Wendy, I got to start with you here. Help me understand what happened here. He opts in, but the agent's sort of leaving the door open?
Yeah, that's a lot of words, none of which are LeBron is really excited to play for the Lakers in 2025-26 for $53 million. Now, I want to be clear, and I know that a lot of fans are probably thinking about the possibility of LeBron being traded to their team or to another contender. I don't think LeBron James will be traded. I don't think he can be traded. He has a no-trade clause, which means that he would control all sides of a trade, where he would go, what he would get traded for. It's very unlikely that that would happen, regardless of what the options would be. Trading for a $54 million player in the modern era with all the rules is difficult. If you're a contender, trading for him is next to impossible. So I don't think that's what's going on here. I also want to point out that the Lakers were the number 3 seed in the Western Conference last year. They have a strong team. In the next 2 to 3 days, I expect them to add a piece or two to improve their hand. It's going to be very difficult to win the West. It's very, very competitive in the Western Conference. But this is not a team that's facing a rebuild, which partially makes Rich Paul's comments confusing.
All right, as I mentioned, Big Perk joining us this hour as our new voice. So what was your reaction to everything that went down with LeBron yesterday?
Nothing at all. Because, look, he's not going to be traded. Wendy just talked about it. I heard Bobby earlier in the show saying that he has no trade value. Look, LeBron is not going anywhere. Here's the thing that Rich Paul said in that statement. The Lakers are building for the future. The future is now. And it's not just far as with LeBron James, it's with Luka Doncic. Right? Luka Doncic just went to the finals 2 seasons ago. He's ready to win now. This is what it's really all about, is that the Lakers actually have to go out there and do some work. They can't be lazy. They can't just see what's on the market and make a big splash. No, you actually have to put the pieces and take your time and evaluate players and see what type of system you want to run and go out there and do what you got to do. See if you want to bring certain guys back like a Rui Hachimura, Austin Reeves, or whatever the case may be, or is it other talent out there that you need to go out there and get? And the beautiful part about this, Oklahoma City has set a standard, a bar of how to do things, how to build things, and how to get it done while doing it in the right way. So the Lakers just have to go out there as far as their front office and do their damn homework. I got nothing from this.
So just so I'm clear on what you're saying, Perk, like you don't believe LeBron wants out. You think this is Rich Paul trying to push the Lakers to do something this offseason to make sure that they give him the best chance before he's done?
No, I'm saying the Lakers should do something this offseason to give Luka the best chance of winning the championship. The future is now. So when we say in the future, we're not talking about next year or 5 years down the line. Luka went to the NBA Finals 2 years ago. Luka is now scratching and knocking at the door of his prime. This is not just about LeBron James. LeBron James has said, go do your damn work. You have LeBron James and Luka Doncic. Go fill in the gaps and let's make a run to try to see if we can go win the NBA championship. Well, that's what this is about.
And to Big Perk's point, if the Lakers want to do that, they have the ability to do a lot of things this summer. We talked earlier about how there's only $12 million guaranteed on their books for next year, Jared Vanderbilt's contract. They got a ton of expiring contracts, about $60 million worth. They got Austin Reeves if they decide that he and Luka Doncic long-term are not a defensive duo good enough to get all the way in the playoffs. He's a very valuable player to trade. They have draft picks they can use. They have a lot of stuff that they can do to potentially change up this roster on top of the fact that, as Bobby said earlier, they've got a couple of different exceptions to go sign guys for more than the minimum. So this is a Laker team that was a 50-win team last year with Luka Doncic not at 100%, has him after a full offseason, likely coming back at 100%, with LeBron James is still an All-NBA caliber player, and with the ability to improve around him. So there is a lot of stuff they could do. And as Perk said, when they traded for Luka Doncic, it's not like the Lakers were getting a guy who's comfortable going through some sort of long rebuilding process. This is a guy who's used to winning, has been in the conference finals multiple times, has been in the finals, and expects to win.
Bobby, even if LeBron does or did want out, right, is that a move these Lakers could even make without significantly hurting their team?
Well, I think there's two ways to look at it, and this is not an indictment of LeBron James. He is certainly a top 10 player still and a generational player here. But it's about a 40-year-old player in the last year of his contract who's making $53 million. And as we've talked about it, I've talked to teams, and there's no team I talked to was willing to trade 4 or 5 players and basically rip down their roster. Now, from a buyout perspective, now that's a different, ball game there, and that would certainly have to come with the cooperation of the Los Angeles Lakers. And what benefit right now, entering day one of the free agency, is there in a buyout? There is none. You're going to have that $14 million exception if LeBron James is on the roster or he's not on the roster. It doesn't magically all of a sudden open up $30 million in cap space for you to go out and sign a player here. So from that perspective, there's no benefit if you wanted to go down that road as far as buying him out. As Brian and the panel said, this was the 3rd best team in the Western Conference last year. They're going to go out and get a center. They might get multiple centers tonight. They have the trade assets and the expiring contracts. They have a smaller exception. They have a younger player in Dalton Knecht. They have a 2031 first-round pick. They have the resources to go out and improve this. Will they be Oklahoma City? Probably not, but they can still be a top 4 team in the Western Conference.
Yeah, we mentioned the Luka of it all as well. Wendy, the uncertainty around the LeBron situation, to the extent that we have any, and again, I want to stress that we have some because of the agent and what he said yesterday. What does this have any effect on the Luka situation?
Well, I talked to Rich Paul last night, and while he reiterated what he'd already said to Shams, he made it clear that he reached out to Luka Doncic and his representation and let them know that this was coming, just as he let the Lakers know that this was coming. These comments did not catch those folks by surprise. They may have scratched their head like the rest of us, but it didn't catch them by surprise. And I will say this. The Lakers, obviously, their big offseason priority, their number one priority is not to deal with LeBron James. It's not to get a center. Those things are important, but it's to get Luka Doncic into a long-term contract starting August 2nd when he is eligible to do that. And Luka's decision is not going to be predicated on LeBron. Luka is under contract for this year. LeBron is under contract for this year. Luka is making a decision for 2026 and forward, and LeBron's not going to be a part of that. So the moves that the Lakers make now and throughout this season have to be based on 2026 and forward, which is what Rich Paul is acknowledging with LeBron's decision of only pick up the option and not extend and not do anything else.
Herc, that's why this is an odd situation, right? Like this, there's almost 2 different timetables. You have the short-term, LeBron wants to win it again before he's done, and then they have to build this team around Luka. You think they can do both?
I believe they can. I mean, why wouldn't they? You have an international superstar in Luka Doncic, that just went to the NBA Finals. You just have to go do your damn work and do your damn job and don't be lazy at it. And just make sure you know what you want to do. You have a guy in J.J. Redick who did an outstanding job as the head coach last year and is going to continue to improve, right? You get with J.J. Redick, you get on the same page, you figure out how you want to play, what style you want to play, what players you may want that's out there and available, what moves or what guys you want to bring back, and then you go from there. You're not in the worst position when you have LeBron James and Luka Doncic under a year. So, yes, but the future is now when it comes to Luka Doncic.
Yeah, and look, I think, as Perk said before, there's a way to do both things. The Lakers can go out and look for guys that fit with Luka Doncic going forward and still get guys that help them win right now. They don't have to get guys that are 19 years old and they're going to be good in 2030. Like, they can get guys who can help them win right now and allow this team to be competitive in the Western Conference. Because, again, they are walking into it with a top 5 player in the world in Luka Doncic, and at worst, a top 15-ish player in the world in LeBron James. You have 2 of those guys on your team, you have a chance to win any series. If the Lakers go into the playoffs next year with Luka and LeBron 100% healthy with a supporting cast around them, they're going to believe they have a puncher's chance to beat anybody, even including the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Yeah, I think that's one of the big things, right? Like LeBron, even though he's closer to the end than the beginning, obviously, pretty good player last year. It's not like he can't help a team win now. That's for sure. Much more on this as we move along on Get Up. But let's run the bases now, beginning in Detroit, where last night Tarik Skubal tied a career high with 13 strikeouts and only gave up one hit. Tigers shut out the Twins 3-0.